Hi everyone, welcome again to another edition of Away Days. This is going to be my 2 cents edition of Away Days involving the teams which I support. So in this case, it will be Arsenal Football Club. You're currently listening to me on Podbean, but if you're also listening on my YouTube channel and you can see me, then hello as well. Just a quick hello. I purposefully I've kept off doing my 2 cents on the basis of the lineup that Arsenal have done and what Man City have done. So I've wanted to get everything out of the way in regards to what both teams have been doing. The last time I spoke, I believe it was after the Spurs game, which Arsenal won by 3 goals to 2, which kept them top. But then Man City have come back and they've been winning as well. So between both teams, they seem to be, I think we can all agree that these are the best two teams in the country right now, and they've both been playing pretty well. But obviously, I'm going to speak about Arsenal here. So last night or yesterday, this time yesterday, they were up at Old Trafford to play Manchester United, and they won by 1 goal to 0 thanks to a Leandro Trossard goal after 20 minutes. I mean, it wasn't the best. Okay, it wasn't the best of performances in regards to knowing how well we know Arsenal can play. But you know what? They got the goal, and I thought to myself, if we do get the first goal, then it's going to be might be pretty difficult for for Man United to come back in the game, considering that after what happened to them early in the week at Selhurst Park, they needed to respond. So I was anticipating a response, and they played a lot better than what they did. And historically, when they play us, they seem to come out of their shell regardless of how poor they've been playing. Um, they did have a couple of chances, but ultimately, Arsenal we did look comfortable. We could have scored a couple more goals ourselves. Onana had a pretty decent game in goal. We had a couple of shots which were well saved. There were a couple of more opportunities that came up. Martinelli when he came off the bench. Um, I mean, it's we done what we had to do. Ultimately, um, in regards to the fixtures that we had, we've got through that phase of where we had to play Chelsea, we had to play Tottenham, we had to, we had Villa. We played this game yesterday. It was a point where everybody, a lot of fans and pundits all said, this is going to test Arsenal's nerve, especially after what happened last season. And I think the boys have responded very well. They've handled it. I think they've matured a heck of a lot in the last 12 months in regards to pressure. And I said that last season. I said that we was going to do very well in regards to knowing what it's all about to be in a title run and to be going for the Premiership, especially when you're going up against a machine team like Manchester City. Um, and what makes it aggravating is the fact that we have played them, we didn't lose, and we've played Liverpool, we didn't lose. As a matter of fact, in terms of all the big six, we didn't lose a game. We played 10-1-6, drew 4. Um, Done a double over Man United, beat Chelsea at home, beat Liverpool at home, beat City at home. We drew all them away. So beat Tottenham away, drew at home. Um, they done what they had to do, but Man City have just been hell of consistent and just very strong. They've just bullied teams, and what's been a stumbling issue for me is that they cut down they cut down that goal difference. The goal difference was clear. We had a goal difference of like, I think at one point we had like plus 16 on them in terms of goal difference, and now they've cut it down to 3. So it is it's just that's just gone effectively, because we know they can score a lot of goals, and they've done it again. They've done it over the weekend. But all Arsenal can do is keep winning, and that's all you can ask of us. in this regard. Again, like I said, the game yesterday was, it wasn't the best of games. It was a bit sketchy at times. The goal came from a situation where I was watching it thinking, Casemiro, he could have pushed out a bit earlier than what he did, but he didn't. His reaction wasn't the best. His reaction wasn't best when Havertz crossed the ball in for Trossard to score. So I think from a Man United perspective, I think they're saying that he's way past his best, and it's probably time for him to back up and go. But speaking from our side, we really did, we put them under a bit of pressure. Like I said, they did play a bit better. They played a lot better than what they did last week. We just had to do what we had to do. Once again, the defense. What can we say about the defense? I mean, Saliba was immense yesterday. Was solid, patient, composed, mature in his performance. I mean, there was a couple of occasions where Garnacho was running against him, and he made Garnacho make the first move, and he got in there, and that was brilliant. Gabriel again, solid again. Tomiyasu put in the shift. Ben White got forward, and he got forward a good few times as well to help out with Saka, and Saka done the same, likewise tracking back to help defend. Trossard obviously got the goal, and Trossard's had a good purple patch as well as Havertz. Between both of them, have had a purple patch in regards to the last few games. Without them doing what they did, I think the title would have been put to bed by Man City probably a couple of games ago. But credit where credit's due. Nothing can be taken away from this Arsenal team in regards to how they've played. They've played like champions. They're performing like champions. They grind out results like champions. But the current champions are still there. So it's a frustrating one. It really is a frustrating one. It's especially if it does. I said it was going to go to the wire. I said it was going to go to the last day, regardless of what happens. Whether it's going to be a 3-horse race or it's going to come down to 2, it was always going to go to the last day of the season, regardless of how it's going to be. If you ask me at this moment, would I buy it now if Arsenal was still top now? Yeah, of course I would. Because we don't know what we can all sit here and talk about their game in hand, which I'll bring up in a moment. Because there's a lot of controversy in regards to that one from fans and Sky Sports alike in regards to that. But the game, I said the game in hand will be key, and the goal difference will be key, and the goal difference has been eaten up. And so now, we've got the game in hand, which is going to be played by Man City tomorrow. We, as Arsenal fans, have prayed that certain teams have given them a problem. We hope that Fulham were going to do it. Fulham couldn't do it. They got played apart. I mean, I'm not being funny. Man City are on such a purple patch, and there's Fulham flying kites in training. And I thought, yeah, we're done. From when I saw that, I just thought, no, just you're flying kites in training. No, we're finished. So let's not count on Fulham in that regard. We can only look now to Man City's last 2 games, which ironically are probably our fiercest rivals in Spurs and West Ham. Speaking of the game in hand, this is a thing which has come up in the last few days, because obviously we won yesterday, and it was going to be a case of how would Tottenham come out? What will Tottenham do? Will Tottenham cause them problems, or will Man City go there and just lay down an onslaught against them? The thing which is coming up at the moment is the fact that there's Spurs fans who will actually cheer if Man City win or if they score a goal, and I had to look at that thinking, if that was the other way around, I mean, for me as an Arsenal fan, yes, it would be like, oh, Tottenham running for the title, blah blah blah. But I could never in a million years cheer my team not to win, and that's what I'm hearing now, that there's actual Spurs fans who actually do not want their team to win tomorrow. But then I'm seeing that from a social media platform aspect. I'm pretty sure of us, but I think there's probably die-hard Spurs fans out there who'll be like, no, we want to qualify for the Champions League, but you know, I don't know what to even, I don't know what to even say to it. Of all the teams to have Man City play in this situation, it would have to be Spurs, wouldn't it? Especially after we beat them last week. You know, it's just that's a bit of a mad one, but but yeah, it's just you know. I mean, I heard what Paul Merson said just then. I read it on the Sky Sports app today. Obviously, it's going to ultimately come down to how tonight's game is being played because Liverpool are playing Villa, and if Liverpool actually win that game, Tottenham will still have a chance of finishing fourth. But as much as I don't want to go on about other teams, you have to bring it up. You have to say this. But I have made peace with the fact that if we don't win the league, we don't win it. Um, Arsenal have played. We've seen as Arsenal fans, we have seen what this team is capable of doing. We know what they're capable of doing. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. They've not really shown that much of a weakness. Unfortunately, it goes back to a couple. There's a couple of games where it goes back to where which have just actually stung us, and one of them was the Villa game, um, and the other game was probably the game against Fulham away. You can go to the game against West Ham at home. You can go on about the Newcastle game away. You can even bring up probably the Villa game at Villa Park where we could have had a penalty in the last minute. But I ultimately, when we was coming back, me and the boys are coming back from injury, and I did say, you know, this game is going to bite us hard. The Villa game it's going to bite us hard, and it actually has now because if we'd won the game, we would actually be 4 points clear. Um, with Man City having their game in hand, if they won tonight, then there'd be a point, and then it'll come down to the last day. It would we still regardless come down to the last game anyway, but we would be in the driving seat. It would be in our hands to say, look, this is what we got to do. Um, so unfortunately, it's not happened that way, and that Villa game was a month ago. We responded well in after that. You know, we beat Spurs, we beat Chelsea, we beat Man United yesterday. We had a good get. You know, Bournemouth were. I did say that Bournemouth weren't going to be a layover. You know, they gave us a bit of a game as well. They had a couple of chances. They had chances themselves in their game. I think VAR. I'm going to be honest. VAR did kind of hurt them a bit as well. But when has VAR not hurt any teams in the league? So you know, we've come through those games, and with that running that we had over the course of the last month and a half has really tested the team, and they've come through it. And now here we are in the last game of the season, still in with a shout of winning the league. We have, I think it's a 41% chance of winning the Premiership, winning the league now because of that running. So it is Man City's to ultimately lose right now, coming up to the build up of tomorrow's game. Um, Going back to yesterday though, yeah, I would say that we did ultimately deserve to win it. Man United did have their chances. Um, it's good, you know, but you know it's not. We need to learn. I think the boys, you know, they just need to kind of calm down. Sometimes they do get a bit excited, but do you know what? I can't fault them. In most cases I'd be a bit more anxious because of our defense, but because our defense has been so solid and so strong and dominant, I've I can you we as Arsenal fans can look at the team and say, you know what, as long as our defense is playing all right, then you know we can have trust in them, and I think we've gained that trust of Saliba and Gabriel at the back, which is kind of annoying because neither of them are actually up for Player of the Season, and I'll speak about that in my next episode of Away Days rather than on my 2 cents because you know, there's other players from other teams who I'd like to talk about who have been very, very good and very consistent this season, Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year alike. You know, the usual suspects. I'll talk about that when it comes. But in this case, you know, we've done what we've had to do. So, you know, here we are. I'm gonna bring it up now just to give you guys an onset of where things are lying right now by bringing up the Premiership table. So we are on 86 points. Man City are on 85 with a game in hand. The goal difference, like I said, has been cut down. Arsenal's goal difference is plus 61 and Man City's is plus 58. So it could very well be, if Man City do win tomorrow, they could very well have a better goal difference than us by the time the game finishes on tomorrow night. So we will see about that. But the big day will be Sunday regardless. It's going to be very, very close. It's going to be very tight. I know that both teams are going to come out and be quite tense. Arsenal have Everton on the last day of the season, and Man City have West Ham. Both of them are at home. I expect both of them to win. We have a very, very good record against Everton at home. That's one thing I will say. And the one thing I will say about Everton is that we seem to always score a lot of goals against them. So, especially when we played them the last game of the season. I think the last time we played them on the last game of the season was a couple of years ago. I think Frank Lampard was the manager, and I think we beat them 6-7-0. Something like that. I think I have to look that one up. Frank Lampard, I think he just brought an Everton team there who just didn't care. Just showed up and just treat the game like it's a kickabout. But yeah, it's going to come down to that. And what more can we say? We've done what we've had to do. We've done what we've had to do up to this point. Regardless of what happens, I'm proud of this team. They've done very well. I want us to win the league. I want us to win the league. Of course I do. I've been supporting this team for 35 years, and I want to see them be as accomplished as much as they can. Especially with this young team that we have now, they're more than capable. They've been brilliant. They've been consistent. They've been consistent. There's just been little spots like the Villa game, which has stung them hard. But we go again. We just keep going. That's what you can do. Just keep going, keep grinding. In regards to our opponents yesterday, again, I'm going to bring up in my next episode of Away Days. And I've spoken to a lot of Man United fans who are kind of concerned in regards to their team, but I'll bring that back up in my next episode, as I've said, which will probably be over in the next couple of days. I just wanted to get an episode of my 2 cents out regarding Arsenal now, just to bring up where we are now in regards to the title race. But yeah, let's hope and pray, Gooners. Let's hope. My fellow Gooners out there. Let's hope and pray. Let's just keep it going. Let's hope we can get this. Let's hope it. So, if we have to support Tottenham tomorrow, we're gonna have to support Tottenham tomorrow. Kind of hurts to say that, but you know what I mean. But I just don't really want to be saying it too tough. But yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah. Like I said, of all the teams, it could have been Chelsea because you can get away with, but. Oh dear, mad, crazy. But anyway, guys, that was my 2 cents. I hope you're just going to be a short one. At Old Trafford yesterday, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1, Leandro Trossard with a goal. My man of the match yesterday. Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Saliba. The defense again. They've just been like I was mentioning before. The defense has been brilliant, and I can't really fault them in regards to what the defense has done. And yeah, that's who I'm going with. Saliba's my man of the match for yesterday. But I'll give my flowers out also to Declan Rice, and Saka had a pretty good game. He was kept quiet at times. Havertz as well, obviously Havertz as well. The whole team. We talk about how we haven't got a striker, but as a team they play so well together, and I'm very, very proud of the fact that they've stuck in. They've pushed Man City to the limit here. So couldn't be more proud of that. So yeah, but guys, I'll be back with another episode of Away Days, and then I'll be back again next Sunday for the last games of the season. I may even go live with that one with a few of my boys from where we're going to be. We're going to be watching the games together. down our way down in Croydon. So I may go live at some point just before the games or just after the games will finish. Um, if it gets to a point where Arsenal have won it, then I'll probably won't go live straight away. I'll probably leave that till I get until I get home. Um, but I may go live with my boys who we all support various teams. So I'll probably like speak to them in regards to how they think their team has done this season. And like I've said before in a couple of episodes, if you know, I'd love to hear from you guys in regards to who you support and how you feel your team has done. Jamal, I know you're out there. You support Villa. I've got a whole ton of Arsenal fans I'd love to hear from in regards to how they think the team's done. I know a good few Man United fans, Liverpool fans, I know a couple of Chelsea fans out there. There's a couple of Spurs fans I love to speak to, a couple of West Ham fans, and there's my friend, my good boy, my fellow Falcons fan, and Lee, who supports Sheffield United. Lee, if you're listening to this, I'd love to hear from you in regards to Sheffield United. If you're up for it, bro. But guys, that's me. I'm gonna leave it there. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good week. Take care.